Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to a brand new episode of WrestleCast. I'm your host, Richie Bailey Jr., and tonight I'm joined by Mr. Adam Vale. How's it going, Adam?
What's up? It's going, and representing Dean Ambrose. That's right. Soon to be NXT champion. Because he just keeps sliding down that fucking pole. All right, let's go.
Yes. We're also joined by Mr. Ricardo Negron. How's it going, Ricky?
Bonesaws ready. Long live the Macho Man Randy Savage. But yeah, I'm glad to be here. Oh, yeah.
That's good. And we're also joined by Dana. How's it going, Dana?
Hello.
Whoa, whoa.
Oh, she had some auto tune and remix.
Got the Dana twins.
Remix.
I think you're fine now. Yeah.
Yes. Right. Technical difficulties.
Oh, she dropped something too.
Hey, listen, we haven't started talking about wrestling yet. Don't get mad yet. You know.
I'm so angry.
So I know for those of you that have been wondering where's the show been, my schedule's been all over the place. You know, we actually are getting ready for E3 in 2 weeks, so that plus my regular work schedule, it's been very busy. So I do apologize for the delay, but we are back. We're definitely going to talk about a few things tonight because, as you all know, NXT TakeOver Chicago is tomorrow night, and WWE Backlash is on Sunday. So we definitely have to talk about these shows because everybody's going to want to hear what we think about some of this stuff. So, so before we do that, though, we want to get into a couple of quick news topics. Now, Dana, I believe that you saw the UK Tournament Championship special earlier today.
Yes.
I know that we have not seen it because this took place at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and I know most of us were still at work. So
Yeah, I didn't get it.
feel free to let us know whether or not this is something that we should check out.
I think that it is a wonderful addition to an NXT show. It's not something that you should go out of your way to watch, but if you're, not doing anything on that day and you want something to watch as you're ironing your clothes,
Oh,
right?
damn.
No, I mean it's good. They had great matches. It was great. The crowd was really into it. It just wasn't any type of surprises. It wasn't anything that was noteworthy. It was just a really good NXT regular Wednesday show.
Oh, man. See, I thought when they said special, I was like, all right, they're either going to introduce some other stars that they picked up that are pretty much in that area, or they were going to have some surprises. Maybe some guys move up from NXT or SmackDown. Maybe they just came back from injury or whatever, and they're like, all right, you know what? Pop up over there.
They had NXT. It just wasn't there. They didn't do anything to make me care about it.
Mm.
And it was really more about, Tyler Bates put on a good, he really did, but it just wasn't anything that was spectacular. It's good, but it's not, great.
Boo.
Yeah, that probably was done specifically to
I understand why they did it to keep everyone fresh and to keep everything in our mind, but at the same time, you didn't need to have that for such a show.
See, I thought because they were advertising it, I thought it was going to be special, sort of like its own version of TakeOver, but in the UK. The way you're describing it, it sounds like just like a regular show.
It was basically a regular. They had Schwab and Dan Maloney versus Brian Kendricks, and it was good. It was high flying. I mean, I it was good. And now they just didn't do anything in between the matches, so it was just like watching a regular show.
Well, I think that was all done just to generate.
Pete Dunne was there, and he was acting like, an asshole, but he was there. That was it.
Oh no, I was gonna say
We got
there's some echoing on your end. You may have to come back. Unless it's on my end, but I don't think it's on my end. You guys hear an echo on my end?
I do.
Oh, you do?
Uh-oh.
I'm not here. All right, hold on. I remember I got the headphones going this time. I remember last time was because I didn't have them on. So I don't know. Let me.
It just stopped.
It stopped.
What was that?
Oh, what'd you just do?
It stopped.
No, I hear.
Oh, I haven't heard any, but.
All right, let's try something else. Do you hear an echo now?
Yeah.
Oh, so it's not the camera. Okay. Uh-oh.
I'm hearing an echo. Hold on a second here.
This is the power of a live broadcast. Yes.
Okay. Well, I had an air conditioner running. I don't know if that was what you guys were hearing. I turned it off.
No?
Hopefully, no.
Well, it got quiet. I don't know. I heard something. I don't know.
Do you still hear an echo?
Not as bad.
Oh,
Now I hear an echo on my end. Holy crap.
Oh, goodness.
Oh, yes. Please bear with us. We have to, in post-production, cut some of this stuff out.
Hold on. Let me back out and go back.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I still hear that echo.
You still hear echo? Okay.
On my end.
I haven't been hearing any, but
All right.
how's it going for you now?
It's a light echo, but
Let me try to get out and get back on, see what happens. Okay, I'll try.
Okay, you still hear echo?
No.
Uh-oh. Maybe it was Ricky.
Yeah, no, I don't hear an echo. Yeah, no echo. No echo.
How about now?
No echo.
Okay. Hey, it's fixed.
Okay, all right. All's well that ends well then.
Yeah, so it must have been you, Ricky. It was you. It was you all along.
It was you.
Yes.
All right, just in case this stuff gets cut, Dana said UK show is whack. Don't watch it unless you're bored or you gotta fold some laundry or
Yeah, that's not good.
or
That's
paint or do something.
It was all right. Out of a 10, I'd give it maybe a 4.
That's not all right. Yeah, it's right out of the 10.
Teaching.
Yeah,
It's ranked somewhere below Camp WWE as far as watchability goes, I suppose.
Oh no, man! Listen, I was a fan of Camp WWE, so I'm offended by that one. It has to be better than that. If not, then that's
You know what pisses me off on the network? That damn table talk or whatever, the round table, whatever. What's the one with JBL?
Is this the show where he bullies all the guests?
He talks shit, but it's like it tries so hard to be something that it's not, because they're not really shooting on anything. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's what, like, bring it to the table, I think they call it.
Bring it to the table. Bring me bullshit is what it should be called.
Pretty much.
Hey, yeah.
It's like you're tricking me. You're trying to make it seem like, all right, we're shooting on this. You like this? No, I don't. Tell me why. You know what I mean? Come on now. You're not really going to say what you feel. You can't. You're on the network. I wouldn't expect that from you on that platform. You don't go on someone's platform. It's like, all right, tell them what you want. Oh, by the way, I hate this job. I hate this boy. Pull him. That's what's going to happen. And this isn't live, so it's on the tape. They know. They could even cut it out. When people are like, oh, what was that remark that he said recently that he rather instead of having dinner with what's his name, Sami Zayn, he rather get captured by ISIS. He said some fucking shit like that, and people are like, "Oh, can you believe he said that?" I said they purposely left that there. They want that buzz. You make it seem like, oh no, come on, they can edit it out like they do on Hulu. They could have cut that shit out. They purposely left that there.
Yeah, that's true. Oh well, it's all good. It is what it is. You know, they are the ones in control of the product at all times. So
yeah, that's why I'm saying it. It's like when people are like, oh, I'm going to tune in to see what they say. No. Go to the dirt sheets. Don't listen to this shit.
Well, I was even thinking about how Talking Smack was so great because that was all airing live, but now that's taped because they decided some point this year, we don't have as much control over this show as we thought. So we're going to throw in 205 Live, you know, as the buffer, and in between that we'll be able to, you know, record whatever. So like, I don't know, I don't like how they've kind of done that with Talking Smack, putting it on later. But you know, that's just me, I guess.
Yeah, no, it's fully understood. We'll see. So let's go ahead and let's get into some of these topics.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I had to fix that. All right, so first topic. We found out earlier this week that Braun Strowman is going to be out of action with an injury for up to 6 months. And as soon as we heard that news, we saw that they started to change their plans for the Universal title, so on and so forth for Raw. So before we get into what they're doing with the title now, I wanted to ask you guys, what do you think of Braun Strowman being injured? Is this a horrible thing for WWE, or is it still a good thing?
I think it's horrible right now for them. They had everything written around him. This guy was supposed to be super strong and carry that damn brand. You know, so I don't know what they're going to do. They're probably going to scramble for this.
No, yeah, I agree. I think they built him up so much, and you know, apart from him losing to like Roman Reigns and such, he's been pretty much unstoppable. And it's gone to the point where when I think of Raw, Braun Strowman is the first guy that I was thinking about, just because like, you know, him flipping over ambulances and all that stuff. It's pretty amazing and pretty cool stuff. And it's gonna suck not having him for the next 6 months. Though this is assuming that that this timetable is not being exaggerated for dramatic purposes.
Well, according to Dave Meltzer, it is exaggerated. It's not going to be that long. It's not that serious of an injury, you know. But they were going to try to pull him back and say, "Oh, he's super strong. He heals super fast, and now he's here to kick some ass." You know, that's it.
Yeah.
So it's like, all right. You know, but I mean, I'm so tired of how they're really trying to squeeze in these big guys to be dominant when you got all these other players. You know, like it really pissed me off when they had Finn come out and Roman was there and he was like, "You have a lot of heart." You might as well just said, "You have a lot of heart, little man." You know what I mean? It's like, are you really? Is this what you're gonna play? Is this a card now that you want to play with someone like Finn? He's gonna be the little guy. You know, it's. I mean, this is the type of shit that Benoit used to have to go through. You know, remember he was known as always a little man, but he was stocked, and I mean, who knows? I don't. He did some fucked up shit, but man, a lot of the pressure was the fact that he was labeled as a little man, and so he constantly worked out and constantly wanted to do something to get big. You know, because of this. You know, he had skill. He had the talent. He didn't need that extra pressure of, oh, well, we're going to keep throwing you down as the little guy of the group.
Yeah, and even was it Eddie Guerrero, same case. He was a short guy, but towards the end of his career, he was pretty jacked as well. And so he wondered if he felt kind of that same pressure.
it's just really sucky how this show seems to rely on one person, and there are so many different wrestlers who are very talented who aren't given opportunity. And first thing, like you said, the first thing you thought of when you think of Raw is so it's just ridiculous that you put everything on this one person's shoulders. And if you spread out the talent and you spread opportunities, it would make for a much better show and a much better opportunities. This is absolutely ridiculous. And I know that they're using to bring him back in a much time and make him look super strong. But honestly, I don't care. I just want him back now. I don't really care if you try to decide to make him super strong. Just bring him back whenever and have something productive for him to do. If he defeats Roman, have him move on to someone else. Don't drag this whole thing out.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, you see it. All right, yeah, sorry about that. It's a bit of a technical issue. Yeah, I just was going to say, well, yeah, I definitely think that it definitely hurts. No doubt about it, it definitely hurts WWE. As you guys already said, you know, Braun was on momentum. So to have him now get injured and be out of action for any period of time is not really good. You know, I know that the ratings have not been good for WWE for quite a while. It's actually been, I would say it's probably even worse now. They have their ups and downs, but significantly more so now because they don't really have any star power. You have Brock Lesnar is on his vacation, as we all know.
I don't even think it's that, though. I don't think that's the reason. I think that, remember, a lot of people are cutting the cord when it comes to cable. I think a lot of people are doing the Hulu cut. You know,
Yeah.
I think a lot of people are doing that. Think about it. You get Hulu and then you get the network and that's it. You're straight. You don't need to do the USA. You know, so I would like to see those numbers to see, because that's the other thing. I mean, it's one thing if that's the only way you can get to see Raw, SmackDown is on USA, then okay, but that's not the case. You know, you get to see it on Hulu, and then after that, you get to see it on the WWE Network when they do those little. They have what was it? I think it's a half-hour show or something of like, oh, this is everything that happened on Raw. This is everything that happened on SmackDown. So then, if you know that those were coming and they're more condensed, then you know what? You were like, fuck, I don't have to watch on Monday or Tuesday. I'll just wait till it posts on Wednesday and Thursday on the network, or I'll wait until I watch on Hulu, and then that's it.
That's a good point.
Well, I mean, one thing to consider is that, like, you think about a 3-hour episode of Raw, 1 hour is going to be just advertisements, you know,
Yeah.
between, you know, USA's commercials and WWE's commercials during their programming. It's basically, that's 1 hour of that. And then you get 2 hours of actual content, which, you know, consists of matches that we've probably seen about 100 times at this point. Yeah, it's just the problem in general is the product is a bit overexposed, and having 3 hours every Monday, it doesn't help matters. Doesn't matter how big the roster is, they don't seem to really put those fresh matchups out there for whatever reason. Oh. No, go ahead.
Oh no, I was just saying it's very convenient to piggyback on what you were saying. And they're not quality shows. So
Yeah.
that's why the ratings are down. Because to me, it feels like a chore when I watch it. I'm watching the same match, 15,000, and I don't care.
Yeah, I know you guys can't see it, but I've just been nodding my head, you know, with everything you guys are saying, especially the whole thing with it not being quality. Lately, I record every episode of Raw and SmackDown, but lately I've been, you know, maybe watching the first hour and a half of Raw, and if it doesn't catch my attention, I'm like, okay, I'll watch the rest later. You know, it's not gonna be worth my time. I'm going to be too tired by the end of the show. and it's not good because you shouldn't be thinking to yourself, "Ugh, is it over yet? Why? I can't believe it's only, it's only been an hour." You should be shocked when the show ends and think, "Wow, that went by fast. I had such a good time," and that's not happening with these episodes of Raw. I could at least say with SmackDown that I feel like they make the most of their time. But yeah.
It's just a shame because they have so much talent. It's like you went and scoured the world, you grabbed some of the biggest names out there, and yet they're just fillers. Finn Balor, just a filler. And then all the other people that they've been pulling in the Shinsuke, dragging this shit out. Like as if, and I get it. Not a lot of people are on the network. If you count that they get like close to 2-3 million, whatever, viewers on their show, and then when it comes to subscribers, they're nowhere near that number. So I get it that they have to reintroduce him, but still, it's like now you're gonna put him on this card. We're gonna get to it quick, so I don't even want to bother with my prediction for it. But I just feel like it's a no-brainer. He's gonna win. What I mean? Who loses their debut? This ain't Lucha Underground. Lucha pulls that shit. They'd be like, "Oh, hype this guy up." Next, he gets smashed. Oh, what happened? They did that to a few guys. They did that to Tyler Black, who is what's his name? Not Tyler Black. The Darewolf. Shit. You'll remember he was in WWE for a while. And
he was Justin Gabriel in WWE.
Justin Gabriel. Yeah. They did this whole vignette. They had this video where he's kicking people's asses at a gas station. This whole thing. He shows up, he lost almost every match. It was pretty bad. But you know what? It was refreshing in a way because you always it never fails. As soon as a new person shows up, of course they win that match, or they do something dirty to win that match if they're a heel. I can't recall ever seeing the debut of someone and then they lose. It just doesn't happen.
Yeah, you're right. And as you said, we will get into the match predictions a little bit later. But I did want to ask this question though because this was one of the main storylines out of Raw this past week. Of course, now we know that the next big match that's going to be at the next pay-per-view for Raw in a couple of weeks is going to be a fatal five-way. We're going to have Roman Reigns versus Finn Balor versus Bray Wyatt versus Samoa Joe versus Seth Rollins. Now, when I heard the match and I saw them announce this, I said, that's an interesting match. That's probably the only reason why I would watch the pay-per-view because I don't know what else. I mean, I do not want to see Miz and Dean Ambrose once again fighting for the Intercontinental title. We've already seen that story multiple times. But I did want to ask you guys, what do you think about that match? Are you looking forward to that match, or do you feel like this is just it doesn't really make a difference because we already know the Great Balls of Fire pay-per-view? That's the pay-per-view that I heard Ricky is looking forward to the most. We are going to see Brock Lesnar, going up against somebody. But I don't really look at that as a big pay-per-view because SummerSlam is the following month. So I think whoever wins that match is going to lose to Brock Lesnar at Great Balls of Fire. And it will lead right into SummerSlam. But I wanted to get you guys' thoughts on, are you looking forward to that fatal five-way or not?
Not. Only because, like you said, it was like whoever wins is gonna lose. You know what I mean? So what's the point? This is just like Brock should have had that gimmick, feed me more, because it's all about feeding him these guys so he could smash them. I mean, if Finn gets there, I don't think he would win. If Samoa Joe, that would be a great match, but I don't think they're gonna push Joe up to that level, not yet. It just doesn't happen that way anymore. So I just don't see it. Maybe Bray, but even then, it's like it doesn't fit. It doesn't fit what they're trying to do with him. So I don't see it. I don't see it, and it's sad. What they really need to do, and it's not going to happen, but it's just me thinking about it. It's like just take the belt off of Brock. Brock is an attraction as it is. He doesn't need the belt. He doesn't do interviews for you. He doesn't travel around. He's not a TV star like when they gave it to The Rock for a year. Remember? And then people are like, why'd they do that? He was all over Hollywood with that belt. I mean? He was walking everywhere. He carried that shit in his trunk. Whenever there was time to do something, let me take it out. Oh, yeah, here's The Rock, the actor, and he's a WWE champ. You know what I mean? It's like Brock does nothing for you. You know, he already tainted his reputation in the UFC with the whole thing of the steroids, cleaning himself out, and that being caught in, on the drug test. And so what is he doing for you? So take the belt off him. He could still be the beast, that rare attraction of like he pisses somebody off, or somebody's like, oh yeah, I'm the big guy, and out of nowhere Brock comes out, challenges, everybody watches him go bring this guy to Suplex City, and then he bounces. That's it. He doesn't need the belt.
Yeah, I completely agree. The belt is really meant to propel the person holding it, kind of create a star. And Lesnar's already an established star. All he's doing is holding the belt, holding it hostage at this point. I think in the last podcast we had, I was talking about Dean Ambrose being the de facto top champion by virtue of having, the Intercontinental belt available to be fought for on the show, because Brock sure as hell isn't showing up for that. And going into this whole thing with this 5-way and Great Balls of Fire and all that stuff, I don't give a shit about that match. I just don't, because for the same reason, it's that, I don't see Brock Lesnar dropping the belt on a B show, C show, whatever you want to call it, to whoever wins this match. It's just whoever's going to have the honor of losing to Brock. That's pretty much it.
Yeah. Makes sense. I mean, so I guess we'll see what happens.
Oh, I heard something.
Yeah, I
heard W.
Yeah, so.
Sorry. Yeah, no, I think that, what everybody else is saying, I'm not really interested in it. Samoa Joe, as you said, would make a wonderful pick, but he's not given that opportunity, so it's really a waste. Finn Balor, he hasn't smiled or looked interested in the match since.
Yeah, no, he does not look happy.
Man looks dead inside. I don't want to watch a match with a dead man with no soul anymore. So I'm not really interested in it. And as you say, it's just to lead up to Brock Lesnar. And Brock Lesnar, to me, I just don't care anymore.
Yeah.
He does his matches. It goes great. I forget so much about him. I forget that he even has belt. And the purpose of WWE is to make her belt prominent, to show, like you were saying, The Rock, all around Hollywood, and we was. And you have a generation of people who know The Rock as an actor instead of as a wrestler. So you're introducing people to the WWE that way. With Brock, I don't see him anywhere. So the belt just goes up and disappears. And I forget about that belt. And I even about why people are trying to get it belt, because it just doesn't exist. To me. So get rid of it and do something with Balor. It's a great opportunity for Samoa Joe. I want him to win, but he's not going to win because WWE seems to respect him that much. And as a result, we don't care. It's really just, I don't care about this whole setup. But the match looks great on paper.
Oh yeah, it looks fantastic on paper. Well, I guess we'll see what happens. And one other thing I did want to get into before we start to talk about NXT and Backlash. Now I have to be very honest at this point. I know when they had the Superstar shakeup not too long ago, I guess everybody was excited because they figured, well, this is going to be interesting. Well, now that we've had, these changes for quite a while now, for a little while, I wanted to ask you guys, how do you feel about the result of the shakeup? Because I found myself wanting to watch less and less of SmackDown and Raw because I'm just not interested in the storylines. As I mentioned earlier with Dean Ambrose and The Miz, these guys already feuded on SmackDown, so why the hell would you bring them to Raw to once again feud all over again? I just don't get that.
Because they brought ratings. That was the whole thing. And Vince was like, well, if they can generate ratings, then just put them on the big show and they can generate those ratings on Raw. That's all it is.
Yeah, hey, I guess so. That's a very good point. Yeah. And then, to go back to SmackDown, of course, they made the decision to have Jinder Mahal go after the title. I'm not going to say nothing about the body transformation. I think a lot of people have said a lot about that already. So we already know what's, if there is something that isn't right with that, it will come out at some point in time. But I don't like the fact that they had this guy win the number one contender match. He didn't win any matches beforehand now, okay? But all of a sudden now he wins every match afterwards. That's a backwards way to put that whole thing together. Because it just didn't make any kind of sense for them to take that particular approach. Normally somebody wins, they get on a momentum, and then they get a huge win, and then they would get that title opportunity. But they decided, no, I don't really think that they've really handled that well. With that said now, though, I just did want to ask if you guys are still enjoying SmackDown and Raw, because I know I am personally not enjoying it. I'm hoping that it gets better, but so far I have to say I'm not impressed. And I do think SmackDown, since that was the better show at one point, I think it's definitely lost something now because of the fact that they decided to move The Miz off the show. And you have AJ Styles competing for the U.S. title instead of the world title.
Yeah,
but
it's horrible. It was a bad idea, and it is what it is, right? We're stuck, and I'm sure Triple H sees it, sort of like what Dana said, where you're like, oh, we're trying this and that. You might as well say we're trying everywhere in the company, not just in NXT. We but it's tough. You hear all these writers that work there that leave, and they all say the same thing. It's like, we hear the people, we want to push certain people, and we'll come up with storylines for them, but there's still only one person who approves it all. And it's Vince, and he could say all he wants about, oh, we want to push, Jimbo Johns. They're like, okay, everybody wants Jimbo, and then you tell Vince, all right, we're gonna push Jimbo. No, you're not pushing Jimbo. I don't want him. It's all about what he wants. This is his world. So it sucks, but they don't seem to really listen. People are like, oh, they're gonna listen to it. No, they don't. I think the only time that they ever really listened was with Matt Hardy with the Lita thing. Remember that, when they kept chanting Lita sucks and all this stuff, and that she's a slut and all that stuff, because they knew, a lot of people knew the backstory of that, and then Matt came back. But I think it was more because it was impacting other superstars that they liked. Vince liked Edge. He loved Lita. He wanted them to succeed, and this was affecting it. So he was like, all right, fine, fuck it, bring him back. But besides that, I don't think we're ever gonna see what we want to see. Until there's a big change in how these things get approved.
Yeah, Vince is pretty much the micromanager to end all micromanagers when it comes to the programming, and it's just a problem where he doesn't have faith. There's all that talent, and he doesn't have faith in a lot of them. Quite honestly, it's just like, it's just kind of baffling. There's going back into what Rich was talking about, the Jinder Mahal thing. I mean, okay, I think I'm starting to come around to the whole idea of, like, Jinder Mahal being in the main event scene, and like, okay, this is SmackDown and it's a land of opportunity and all that, but
he's gonna win.
Well, we'll get to that soon. I'm still thinking about what I'm going to predict for that, but the thing with like the shakeup is that, yeah, you get a guy like Jinder Mahal who goes from just being Rusev's lackey on Raw to now being number one contender on SmackDown, and so I guess that's kind of what they're trying to do on SmackDown, like with creating these other opportunities. But then you have the flip side where you have someone like Charlotte, who was like, the number one female wrestler on the roster, and now she's doing the 3-on-3 tag team thing, and just I feel like it's brought her down a bit. So I'm not. I mean, I think I'm just kind of rambling here. I'm not a really big fan of the shakeup because Ambrose, him leaving SmackDown, that bothered me. But yeah, I don't know. I'm not really feeling it.
It's upsetting.
I think it affected the show something terrible. I remember talking to Richard about it, and at first I was very enthusiastic. I didn't really see any difference, and then as the weeks continued, I started to see it just get less magical, and just became very generic and borderline very boring. And I feel that I don't really see a benefit from the shakeup on either side. And I would have preferred maybe if they just kept things as they were and did just the once-a-year draft, and it would have made for just work with the writing and work with the booking as opposed to switching up stars. You can do a lot with the same stars if you learn how to book someone and know how to make them creative. And they seem to just not care about that at all. So for me, it's just becoming very stale.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think that pretty much sums it up. I guess I know that maybe some people out there that they do see this stuff and they're enjoying what they're seeing.
Yes, children.
Speaking of, yeah, no. So my 5-year-old daughter, right? She doesn't watch wrestling. She doesn't watch any of it. But on Raw, for some reason, she hung out with me in the living room when she was watching, and it was up to the part where everyone was coming down for the setting up for the 5-way and the whole thing. And Roman comes out, and she's like, "Whoa, he's big. He looks so strong," And I was like, "Oh, you think he's gonna win?" Yeah, he has to win. He's so big. He's so strong. And then
that's exactly what Vince tells himself.
That's
just
it.
In that voice as well.
Yeah, so then it's the same thing. So I was like, "So you think he's gonna win?" And I was like, "Yeah, that's what she." So she was like, "Who do you want to win?" So then Joe comes out. I said, "Him, Joe." He's like, "He doesn't look strong like the other guy." You know what I mean? And then when they had the Finn and the whole thing, and I was like, "Who do you think is gonna win there?" The other guy's too small. You know what I mean? I'm like, and this is it, and that's how Vince sees it, the same way as this little kid. If the little kid can't imagine the little guy beating the big guy, then it's not happening. You know what I mean? I was like, but there's skill involved, but she doesn't understand that. She's going based off of just viewing it, and viewing it, yes, it's a big, massive guy, but I mean, little guy could have technique. He could be a real great wrestler, do an ankle pick, take him down, and punch to the face, and a real fight, it's over. It doesn't matter. But she doesn't get it. Right now, bigger's better. You know what I mean? And that's what a lot of those kids. And when she heard the other thing, when she heard everyone booing him, she was like, "Daddy, why are they booing him? He's so big and strong." You know what I mean? Exactly. And I'm like, "Okay, Vince, listen, let me explain this, why they're booing. Because he just doesn't have this skill." But just like Vince, she doesn't see that. You know what I mean? She doesn't see it. It's like, well, he's big and strong, and look at him. Just look at him. I mean, I got to say, the only thing that's really working with the whole Braun thing, because most people say, well, we can hate on him too. He's got a lot of skill. He's got a lot of skill, more than Roman does. And Roman actually had the nerve to come out and say, well, Braun's looking good because we've been doing good matches. No. Braun is doing freaking double leg drop kicks. Braun is doing kick-ups, from the ground. The guy is like 7-something, close to 7. He's a massive man. I mean, he can move. He's proven he's got more. I'm waiting for the day he pulls a Mike Awesome and goes over the top rope. When he does that, mind blown, because it's going to happen. It's going to happen. He's so big, and he can move. So he's a different type of big man. And it reminds me of also when Big Show, when he was younger, when he used to do crazy shit like that off the top rope, and he would just jump around and stuff. For a big man, I was like, what is he doing? He's an accident waiting to happen. But before it happens, it's still fun to watch, So it's just, man, just Roman needs to either be a heel, go with the whole, the Roman Empire, give him a cape or something, do something. You know what I mean? Yeah, make him the numero uno prico, do something. But then everybody can go along, boo him, and it works. Do something. But just forcing him, and then that's the thing, people they'll always fight it. They'll always fight it. I don't know if it'll ever get to that point. Well, maybe it will, because look what's going on with Kurt Angle. People still chant "you suck" and stuff, and then once that part's over, they start cheering. It's like a sing along, like we just go with it, And my daughter heard that part too. Why are they saying those mean things to him? And I was like, they like him. That doesn't make sense, Daddy. They're saying some mean things to him, and I'm like, okay, wait till he gets in the ring, and once he gets in, and that part's up. Remember, they're like, yeah, he lifts up, and yeah. I was like, see, everybody's happy, and I mean, you could see the question marks popping up over her head, like, what the hell? None of this makes sense, But I don't know if that's ever going to happen. What, you want to wait fucking 10, 20 years? People to finally say, yeah, remember when we booed him? Yeah. No. I mean, it's going to be like that with Cena. I think Cena's going to be another one. But the thing is that Cena can go, So I think it's going to, he represents more. But Roman just doesn't have that, at least not in this version of him being, the baby face. He needs to go full heel, and I don't like the fact that they're trying to dance back and forth. They're like, oh, why are they doing that? I know why they're doing it. You know what I mean? It's sort of like that Steve Austin thing. They're trying to teeter it to see if they can find that middle ground. Look, he's sort of a prick, but he's still a good guy. That's the Steve Austin motto. Sort of an asshole, but you no, it's not the same. You can't. That just happened. That was natural. That just flowed into that. You're forcing us with this shit.
Oh yeah.
And it's not going to work, and his look, yeah, he has a good look, but his look also looks like he's a prick, and he'll steal your girl when you're in the bathroom, and, he'll smack you around in the locker room. He just has that I'm a real bully asshole, and that's it. And people, I know Vince doesn't see it that way because, he's in his own bubble, but, I mean, what was it? There was during that weird table talk shit. I don't know why I can't remember the name of that damn show.
Bring it to the table.
Bring it to the fucking. That's a horrible name. So anyway, so when JBL was talking about it, he's like, oh, everybody cheered him when he was part of the, the group with. Oh my God, I'm drawing a blank with everything now. With Seth Rollins and
the Shield.
He was with the Shield. He's like, everybody cheered him, everybody loved him, and then when he goes solo, then people want to start bullying him. I was like, no. You got to remember, they all had roles. You had Dean, who was on the mic. You had Seth, who was the high flyer, and then you had the muscle. He didn't talk. He was just a muscle. If he stayed in that role, it would have worked. You give the guy a mic, and it don't work. And that's the problem. It didn't work, and you're trying to put him in these freaking long-ass Broadway matches that didn't work. You know what I mean? Because he was good when everybody remember when they would have their matches, they getting beat up and stuff, and then they tag him, and he's like, roar, here coming, punch, slam, we win. You know what I mean? That was it, and we liked it. We were like, all right, they got the muscle guy. But you can't always have the muscle guy be the front guy. It doesn't work like that. And that's the problem. It's like now he's the front guy, and it's like, no, you're giving him a mic, and you're expecting him to talk and do all this stuff and become like a new Rock, a superstar. Again, that took years for him to hone that skill backstage. To come up with all that jokes and stuff. And then he even had a writing crew that was helping him with him. And then eventually he found his own niche and was, nothing tops a, shut up. You need to pour yourself a nice tall glass of shut up juice. Remember that? That was funny. But I mean, it's just, that's the problem with this, and I don't know if it'll ever really work for Roman, until they just say, what, we give up, do whatever you can, or they give Roman to Triple H and say, do something with him.
He'll get an opportunity. He will. I strongly believe. Just have to wait until Vince dies. But
see, and that's sad. I don't want to wait for the old man to die.
It's sad, but it's also very true. You having someone who created something, and he created this wonderful, brand, but at the same time, he's so stuck in his bubble that he's destroying it. Look at what Triple H did with what he had with NXT. And yes, it's kind of not good at the moment now, and he went into detail as to why, but it was a really great brand. We just have to wait until Vince either releases his control and goes off and plays golf and no longer partakes in WWE anymore, and that's maybe be in the next 5 to 10 years. So I do see something happening with Roman, not right now.
I would like to add one thing as well. As you said, yes, Vince is the problem. If you want another example, look at what they're doing with this cruiserweight division. You saw how much work Triple H put into that tournament. That was because he was involved, and he is what made it special. Then when Vince decided to say, well, let me take this cruiserweight thing and put it on Raw, I'm going to do it my way. You see, it's not working because of the way that they're presenting it. I've heard multiple times from people that have been to shows, whenever they see a cruiserweight match, they get up, use the bathroom. They said, no, because they're changing the ropes, all this other stuff. So this is an issue. And then, of course, we saw at WrestleMania, you had a match, Austin Aries and Neville. You would have thought that match was going to be on the card, like in the opening of the actual show. But it was the first match when people were still walking into the building. So that right there goes to show that, yes, Vince and Kevin Dunn, they need to change their philosophy and give more control to Triple H. If you see what he's doing is working, let him do what he's doing. Give him some type of creative power with this stuff. But
that's the thing. Are they giving him credit? Is Vince even giving him credit for seeing what he's doing with NXT? He may not. He may be like, this is a fad. I mean, who knows? We don't know.
Yeah.
So, it's sad.
Hey, that's all right. We'll see what happens. But let's go ahead and let's get into some NXT TakeOver and Backlash predictions. So, first and foremost, as I've mentioned earlier, NXT TakeOver Chicago, that is tomorrow night on the WWE Network. No, WWE is not paying me to tell you guys this. I'm just letting you know in case you might have, you just didn't know. So, there's currently 5 matches planned for the card. Just going to get you guys' opinions on who you think is going to win which match. So, first matchup, we're going to have Roderick Strong versus Eric Young of Insanity. So, who do you guys think is going to win that? I think that's pretty obvious. But
Roderick Strong. That was the whole thing. Roderick Strong. Come on now. You don't give a package and get me all invested in his personal life and then have him job to every match. Because, he lost his last one clean. So he's going to win. He's going to win. He's going to move up. Or maybe it'll be like a dirty win. I mean, Eric Young will have his dudes jump in or whatever and be like, oh, man, he won. But, these guys interfered, the whole thing. But, I mean, he's going to move up. I don't see Roderick staying long there. I don't see it staying long there.
Yeah, I did see that they had a vignette.
Oh, did you see it? Did you watch it?
I did see that.
Yeah, right. And then again, you was like, oh, damn, yeah, Roddy, you could do it. You know what I mean? Because, I mean, here it is. He's got a baby. The guy comes from, crazy background with his family. This is something that he turned to just as an escape, and it turned into a career. And I mean, that's more common in the music industry. You hear a lot of that. It's like I played the guitar in the basement where my daddy beat my mommy, and next here it is, I'm writing sad songs, and now I'm on the billboards. So now here's a story with that in wrestling. He didn't come from football, and he didn't come from MMA. He came from a guy who just wanted to get into something that he can be good at. And he had a skill in wrestling. I mean, we're not, for people that are just listening to this, I'm like, okay, well, Roderick Strong, look him up on YouTube. You have not seen the real Roderick Strong yet. Roderick Strong is an amazing wrestler. Some people say, oh, he's like Dean Malenko. And if you know Dean Malenko, he's a man of 1,000 holds. This man, Roderick Strong, can out-wrestle anybody. I mean, he is very technical. We don't see that, though, because that's not how WWE portrays a lot of these guys. They give you a set move, right? And then they see how long you can work with that. And then every once in a while, they have you sprinkle some stuff like, pay-per-views and things. But when he gets into a really good technical match, if you remember back in the old ECW days when they would have Jerry Lynn versus RVD, if you remember any of that, where they would get real technical and flip, and everybody knew they were going to see a 5-star match when these two went together. They're like, this is it. Those are the type of matches that Seth Rollins can have with him. You know, that AJ Styles can have. They'll bring out the best in both of them because they know they can go and do those reversals and do that play back and forth. You know, so I'm looking forward to that, and I'm sure WWE is looking forward to it because they, you know, and that's the beauty of bringing these guys in. It's like they already know. Oh wow, this dude can work with the guys that we have at the top. How do we know? Because we've seen the footage, we've seen the matches in Japan, we've seen it. We know he can do it. You know what I mean? So there's no like if and buts or let's do a bunch of house shows and see how it goes. No need. You know it's gonna work. You know, and I think that's why he's just gonna move up. You know, they'll bump him up. You know, I'm sad Eric Young. I get why they put him in that group because he's not gonna make it by himself because he's too small. He's the smallest out of all those dudes that came over, you know, with the big raspy voice, you know, but it's not going to work. Think about it. You know, it didn't work even when he was in TNA. You know, I mean, he's a great wrestler. He's got talent for days, but there's a lot of new guys that are coming in. And honestly, a lot of these new guys are not big guys, you know, and that's what Vince wants on the main stage. And he's not going to fill up the main two shows with a bunch of little dudes, you know. So they gave him this crew. And what does he have in a crew? It's the big man, you know, so that'll help out. And he's got the crazy chick. That'll help out in that too, you know, so I can see them. They're still going to linger around, you know. But Roderick, that's my one for that one. Ding, ding, ding. I pushed my buzzer. Whoop.
Yes, and I'll just add this very quick, and then I'm going to get Ricky and Dana's picks. The next time I go to an NXT event, and if I happen to see Eric Young, I'm going to make sure to give him your information so that you and him can have a discussion about what you just said. You said he's too small. Yeah, okay, I'm going to remember that one.
Wait, no, I have no problem with him, but the big man has a problem with little people, and he is the smallest out of all the guys that have jumped in, big name guys, you know, that have jumped in. He's the smallest out of them.
You're right. You're right. Absolutely. Okay, Ricky, who do you think is going to win?
I think it'll be Roderick Strong. There's definitely a reason why they did a two-part thing about his background and pretty much trying to get you invested in him, because after Hideo Itami, you would think that he's the next in line to go after the NXT title. So they had a pretty close fight and could have gone either way, and so I think that this will be a rebound for Roderick Strong, and Eric Young will be just fine even losing this match, because Sanity have had some pretty good wins recently, you know, especially the to me an enjoyable feud between Young and Dillinger. Mainly because I think Eric Young's voice is funny. You know, his whole thing, Dillinger, their blood is on your hands. You know, things like that. I can't dream to do the voice the way he does it, but it's just great. Yeah, let me just cut this a little short. Roderick Strong will be strong in this one, and he'll take the win.
I like that. That's a good one. All right, Dana, who do you think is going to win?
All you guys are wrong. I'm sorry. I'm going with Eric Young. I believe that this feels like a feud, a continuation between Ty Dillinger and that he had with himself, with Eric Young and Ty Dillinger. I feel that this is just a continuation, and that they're gonna, let this go for a couple while. And I need to see Eric win something, and I think it's gonna be great to see him win over this guy who's gonna be a really great baby face. And we have that package that they showed, and they spent all that time, and it's gonna be, it's going to have Roderick come back even stronger, and it's going to carry out for maybe a couple or 1 month, and it's going to be a really great feud together. So I see them winning, either if it's some form of insanity, of sanity interfering, but I need Eric Young to win. I think it'd just be really great, and it's great to see if Eric Young, the little tiny guy, wins something for once, because he hasn't been doing that great.
Hey, very good response. I personally think that I don't know. You know, I think Roderick Strong. They made that vignette, which is great. It tries to get you invested into the character. I think it's going to be a situation where maybe he wins by DQ or something, because obviously Sanity will get involved in this match, I think, at some point in time. And then, you know, I don't know if No Way Jose is still involved in this whole situation with Sanity, because I haven't seen this character for a while. So he could very well come out there to assist Roderick Strong if it does become a DQ. But I would say Roderick Strong by DQ will be my guess as to how that match is going to turn out. But, you know, we'll find out. We'll see. All right, the next up match is Tyler Bate will be defending his title against Pete Dunne. So I'm going to say right now that because, again, this is a takeover event, it doesn't really feel like it's a major takeover event because it's not happening around SummerSlam or WrestleMania or Royal Rumble. So I'm going to say that Tyler Bate will probably retain his title. So what do you say, Adam?
With Tyler Bates, yeah, I think he's going to retain. I mean, that's what they're building up, right, for the UK. I mean, that's his belt. I mean, I don't see him losing it. I don't see why they would do that. I mean, they want to create a face in the UK, and he's that face, you know. So, I mean, he's good. He's a good wrestler. I mean, the guy can move around. He can do some holds, you know. So, I don't see him losing. I think this is just to put him on a bigger stage, you know, to get that buzz out. So, I see him going over.
Yeah, makes sense. How about you, Ricky?
My hunch is actually that Pete Dunne goes over and takes the title. I say that because a lot of times these titles seem to get more interesting once you have a strong heel holding the belt. I mean, just look at the Cruiserweight Championship with Neville. Neville pretty much made it relevant, or at least somewhat relevant, considering that it was pre-show at WrestleMania. But it's the most relevant it's ever been, and I think that this is a chance to kind of put Dunne on the map as far as, like, for those who haven't watched the tournament or familiar with his work. And I think that they'll keep Tyler Bate, you know, up there in that main event, and he'll get a chance to win it back off of Dunne. But I think we'll see a new champion on for this. Yeah.
Fair enough. Yes. How about you, Dana?
Everything that was previously said, I agree with. I'm gonna have to go with Pete Dunne. I feel that since the tournament, we've kind of lost its momentum, and the special that aired today wasn't really that great, and they need a way to bounce back. So I think having him win will be a lovely shift to the program, and it would just make people more interested. I liked him as a heel, and I think that he could really, you know, he could be a great way to shine, and he can face all these different people and just be really great. So I like him.
I think you all make some very good points, and you know, I probably should have also mentioned that, you know, I do think that there will at least be one title change, because I don't think they want it to be too predictable in terms of the outcomes. So they may very well take that approach where they just decide, okay, well, we're gonna maybe go with one, you know. So I would say if they are thinking that way, then yeah, Pete Dunne may win. But we'll see about that. The next match I want to discuss,
wait, one thing about that.
Yeah.
The only way I could see Dunne winning, he is good on the mic. And if they want somebody who can talk, then he would be the one that they put the belt on. But he was part of that tournament, and they didn't go with him. You know, so that's why I don't think he'll win. But yeah, I mean, that's the one plus that he does have, is that he can talk on the mic.
And you guys also say he's a good heel, so
Yeah, he is. He's good.
All right, so hey, it's still possible. I think it's definitely still possible. I know they did have a match already. I believe that was on NXT.
That was on that UK special, right? Wasn't it, Dana? Isn't that on the UK special?
I'm not sure if it was today's match, but I thought they had a match a while ago, like a NXT, like a little while ago.
Yeah, it wasn't on a special.
Okay.
Okay, so we'll see what happens. All right, next up, this is a big match here. We have the Authors of Pain versus DIY in a ladder match for the NXT Tag Championships. So let me just say this now. I know you mentioned, Dana, that you heard the call that Triple H was on and that they are trying to, keep some interest in NXT. They are aware of the issues going on in NXT, but I think that this is the reason why DIY has not been called up yet, because I thought that for sure they will be getting called up. But, of course, we have a few other teams that they're still trying to build up, and then you have, I believe it's the team from Australia is a TM69. They're pretty much they're not being used now because one of the guys is injured. So I think that's possibly why DIY is still there. But in terms of this match, I don't really see Authors of Pain winning this match because, it's a ladder match. I think it favors DIY more. Unless, of course, they're just going to try to really put Authors of Pain over as they're dominant in every way. They can win any match whatsoever. I'm not really sure about that. But I would say if like I said earlier, if there is a match where there is a surprise title change, I would say why not let it be DIY in this case. But just my opinion. So what do you guys think? Oh yeah, that's it.
It's dead air. It's like, whoa, I don't know.
Yeah. It's very. No. It's interesting.
Arnold, you could do this.
Okay, I'll get started with this. Then, I actually kind of agree that a ladder match is kind of tailor-made for a title change. That a team like DIY could beat the Authors of Pain because, let's say that DIY wins this match. They climb the ladder, they get the belts, and that's it. It's not the traditional way of pinning them, on all that. So it would kind of protect Authors of Pain that way. That having been said, I think it would be a bit too soon to take the belts off of the Authors of Pain. I think they retain. And I don't know if whether or not the latest Tommaso Ciampa injury would affect this or not. But I've mentioned this before, and I guess I'll repeat that I have this feeling that they're going to split up. DIY is going to split up, and they're going to have one hell of a feud with each other. I don't know whether it's going to happen, Saturday. I don't know whether it's going to happen. Not going to happen until Brooklyn. But I think this year they're going to split, and they're going to have one hell of a feud. That's just my hunch.
The problem with that is that then you're basically saying you guys are going to stick around in NXT a bit longer, and I don't see that happening. They're ready to go. These guys are ready to go, and everybody thought they were going to go before for that big match, and this happened. Well, the whole thing happened before that they didn't, and Authors of Pain, and no, I don't. Well, yeah, no, on that end, I don't see it. I don't see them splitting up. But I see them winning. I think they need to win. Ciampa got hurt. They said it's not that serious. Who knows? We'll find out. But I think they're gonna win. And they need to move up. They need to go. Especially to SmackDown because SmackDown is hurting.
Yes.
They need to go there. And then of course the SmackDown lost the tag team. The Broad Villains. Remember that whole thing happened. So they could fill that spot. Another tag team, and they're Man, I hate using it. I feel like a Vince guy now, but I mean, they're smaller dudes, and I can't see them really making a big impact if they went solo, which is why I think they need each other, you know. But,
Yeah, I can definitely agree with that as far as like they're stronger together than they are kind of
yeah,
separate.
because if you separate them, think about it. I mean, that's straight to 205 right there. It's like both of you guys, 205. You know,
Yeah.
Yeah. Put them on 205 Live.
you know. 'Cause, I mean, 205 is a whole other story in itself. I mean, it came in with great promise, and then they need to do a lot of work on that. They need somebody full time working on that.
That isn't Vince McMahon.
No.
Yes, make sure Vince is not involved in any way, shape, or form.
You know how you fix 205 Live? You air it on Thursday rather than having it right after SmackDown when people are tired and don't want to watch any more wrestling.
It's too much. It's too much.
I mean, I get that. I get that once it's aired live, people are free to watch it anytime and all that stuff. But I don't know, man. Like I haven't seen many episodes of 205 Live. I haven't had real reason to. I don't know. But yeah, let's get back to the tag match thing. There's a lot of ways they can go with DIY. I would be glad to be wrong because I think DIY as tag champions would be good for the show. It would be good for the pay-per-view. It would be good for NXT going forward. But I don't know. Who knows?
We'll see.
I still have this feeling that Authors of Pain will retain, but hopefully I'm wrong. Dana, what do you think?
I'm going with Authors of Pain. I'm going to probably say that I need something to happen. I need a change. I cannot speak. DIY is a great tag team, but they're getting a little stale for me, and I need them to go away, either be called up, split up, but I need something to happen to them, and I want Authors of Pain to win. I think that they would make for a great champions, and I also see a feud coming maybe with Heavy Machinery.
Yeah.
So I think that would be a better opportunity, and plus they need to do something with NXT. They need to shake it up a little bit. So I want them to win.
Sounds
but
good.
I think either way it's going to be a great match. It's going to be a great match either way. I hope so. I'm praying.
Oh yeah, anytime DIY is in a match, it's pretty good. We'll see. We'll see what happens.
Yeah.
But yeah, let's get to the next match, which is a three-way. It used to be a four-way, but now it is a three-way for the NXT Women's Championship. We have Asuka versus Ruby Riott versus Nikki Cross. Now, Ember Moon was supposed to be in this match, but supposedly she got injured. And, I think it's pretty obvious. We will see a rematch with her and Asuka for SummerSlam. That's possibly why they took her out of this match. I don't know if the injury is a legit injury or not.
Oh, it's bad. They said both is bad.
Oh, it is?
Yeah, it's a legit injury. She's hurt.
Okay, all right, well.
I mean, there was footage and video of her, like, from fans, like, her crying, literally tears, like, she was screaming and crying. She really got hurt.
Ooh, ouch. All right, so on that note, I still say Asuka retains.
Yeah.
Neither one of these, no offense to Nikki Cross or Ruby Riott. Ruby Riott just got there. I think they need time to really build her. She has the feud with Nikki Cross now, so that they will. I mean, that real feud I think is really just beginning. But Asuka, I think without a doubt will retain because they don't really have anybody that can really challenge her on that roster right now. That would be my pick. So. How about you, Adam? What do you say?
I don't see them. I think that's the whole thing. It's sort of like she's one of those weird spots, and this is a problem they've always had with Japanese superstars. They're talented. They're great. They bring them in, but they don't seem to know how to properly introduce them to the big rosters. Now they're fortunate because they have NXT, and that audience is aware. That audience is in the know. They knew who she was when she showed up. like they do everybody else, like Bobby Roode and stuff. But I'm telling you, large majority of people that just watch WWE will not know who Bobby Roode is when he shows up. You know what I mean? Regardless of how long he's been around and, Impact champion and all, it doesn't matter if they didn't watch it. So it's even harder for someone like Asuka, because it's like, all right, here it is. She's from Japan. Okay, we get it. You've had a lot of this influx of Japanese wrestlers coming into big, but can she get on the mic? She can't really do that. She needs a manager. They need to bring back managers. I don't know why they push that on the side, but I mean, Heyman, bring him in. Remember, they still have him around, and he's like, oh, the Heyman guy. Heyman, well, he's a Heyman girl or something, or a woman. You know what I mean? Do something like that. She needs a mouthpiece. You know what I mean? If she had a mouthpiece, then she'll be fine. She'll be good to go. But I think that's the problem. They don't know how to introduce her. So until then, she's going to keep racking up. I wouldn't be surprised she hits 200. You know what I mean? Wins. Because, I mean, she's, 160 something? It's ridiculous at this point. But it's like we said, they don't really know. And then, of course, Amber Moon. That's a feud that they wanted to do. That's more to help Amber and to introduce Amber. But she got hurt. So, what are we going to do? I mean, the other two girls, Ruby Riott, she was good on the indies. I know from the indies, she can go. She'll be all right. But I don't know. I think it's too soon for her to get the belt. I don't know much about the crazy one, but I still think it's too soon, for her too. So I think, Asuka's going to win this one. The other two are going to have their feud, and then it's going to roll around there, and hopefully Amber comes back, and then that'll do the feud. And then hopefully at that point, they figured out what they're going to do with Asuka, Because, I mean, hell, we're still going through the experiment now with Shinsuke. How is that going to play out? I mean, the guy can speak English. They just have him say stupid shit on the mic. What did you say? Come on now. He can do full sentences. You know what I mean? Why are you acting like he's off the boat? I mean, in a way he is, but he's not. You know what I mean? The guy's been preparing for this moment for a long time. You know what I mean? So
you're right.
So we'll have to see. Hopefully they don't drop the ball. I mean, it's crazy, but a lot of people are nervous with the Shinsuke thing because they feel that the way WWE handles these Japanese stars, they will somehow fuck it up. You know what I mean? It's like they will fuck it up, and it's sad. But they again, he's another one that needs a fucking manager. Bring back the managers. Bring back managers so that way they so where they can talk the shit out of it and then just bring them up. Get the violin guy. Remember the guy with the violin? Maybe he can talk. I haven't heard him say anything. How badass would that be if your manager comes out playing the damn violin and then when he's about to do the finisher, he goes, that's it. This is your swan song. Sucker Free Sunday. Whatever. Going nuts.
All right, well. We'll see. We're going to get into Shinsuke very soon, but Ricky and Dana, who do you think is going to win?
I'm gonna say. So let me start off by saying that when I went to WrestleMania weekend, I went to an NXT taping. I was in line, and a random dude came up to me and started interviewing me. And the last question he asked me was, who is your favorite NXT superstar? I know there's been a lot of changes and call-ups and all that. And the first answer that came to my head was Bobby Roode. But I would like to take this opportunity to amend that. My absolute favorite is a woman. It is Asuka, the Empress of Tomorrow. The absolute best thing about NXT today, in my opinion. I say that she's retaining, absolutely, and I think that the one that's going to take the belt off of her is not on the roster yet. That's how I feel about that. I think that this match will go away to further the feud between Ruby Riott and Nikki Cross. They'll have their own, special match against each other, in the not too distant future. But this will be a way to kind of incorporate them into a high-profile women's match and keep that feud going. But there's no way Asuka's dropping that belt tomorrow.
Sounds good. How about you, Dana?
I'm looking forward to this match. I think that Asuka's going to retain solely based on the fact that Nikki and the other one, I can't remember at the moment. My brain is slowly sinking. Um,
Ruby Riott.
Ruby Riott. Too much. Okay, so Ruby Riott is going to end up being distracted with Nikki Cross, and as a result, I think Asuka is going to end up winning because of that.
Yeah. Hey, that makes sense to me. I mean, I think we're all in agreement that Asuka is not dropping that title yet.
Right, and it makes a great opportunity for Ember to come back. So there you go.
Yeah, I agree with that. Definitely. All right, and of course we have the main event, which is Bobby Roode, the glorious one, defending his NXT championship against Hideo Itami. Now, I just want to say this real quick. I know a lot of people, I've heard a couple other shows where people were saying, well, this is in NXT Chicago. We know that Itami's finisher, go to sleep, right? I mean, obviously he doesn't call it that. But that's why they think you will see him at least get the finisher off. But even if he gets the finisher off, I think it's pretty obvious. Bobby Roode this is the guy who they have as their champion now. There's no way in hell he's going to lose this belt to Itami. No offense to Itami. But Itami just came back from injury. I don't really think it's time for him to really get that title. He may not even get the title because, again, there are other people that are going to be competing for that title. And one thing I did think was interesting is, Drew McIntyre is back. He does not have a match on the card as of now. I don't know if they'll change that in the last minute. But I think that is the guy that may take that title from Bobby Roode when they get to that further down the line. But, yeah, Bobby Roode, in my opinion, definitely, without a question, will be retaining his title tomorrow night. But
there is a monkey wrench in there.
What's the monkey wrench?
Money. Oh, Tommy, he's getting paid. They paid a lot of money. They gave him a big contract to show up here from Japan. And he's been there a long time. Think about it. He signed with them in 2014. We're in 2017 now.
Yeah.
Okay. Wow. And what memorable moments can you think of? He's had one or two here, but like you said, a lot of injuries. And then he was on the shelf for almost a year with that shoulder surgery. They gave him a lot of money, big money contract. They had a lot of plans for him, especially for the Japanese market. So now that he's finally healthy and he can go and he's wrestling full time, that's why they're showing those packages, because they want you to remember him and remember why they brought him in. Because he's filling that spot that Shinsuke is. That should have been him. But he had all those injuries. But again, like I said, money. They're paying him a lot of money, and they can't keep affording to just keep paying him to stay on NXT. They have to bring him up to the big roster so that way he can be on those big shows and he could help sell some more WWE Network subscriptions in Japan. So I see him. I don't know if he could win this one right off, because I think they should do a feud, but I wouldn't be surprised if they give it to him. So that way he has the title. So the next time they do an overseas tour, it's like, look who's a champ. Sort of like they did with Shinsuke. They're really trying to get the international. People are like, oh, I don't know what you're talking about. You know what? Then just look at SmackDown and look at who's competing for the title now. Think about it. You know what I mean? It's like, why is he, out of all the other people that are deserving, why is he up there? And he's up there because India has a big market. They notice that there's a lot of wrestling fans out there, and they're big in the WWE Network, and they want to pull in that audience. And the best way to do it, give them somebody they can back.
Yeah.
They could definitely back him. So, and then that's why he even has those little goons with him, the Bollywood boys. So then that way they can help him cheat. So even if he doesn't win clean, he's gonna win. He's gonna be the guy. And I think that's the same thing that'll eventually happen in the other areas. But Tommy, it's the money thing. They're paying him a lot. They need him to shine. They've been patient. He's had a lot of injuries, but now he's healthy. And we've seen people come and go. Finn Balor showed up and passed. Kevin Owens has shown up and passed. You know what I mean? It's like, and Tommy's still there. 2014, he started, and still we could probably on one hand count how many decent matches he's had, and it's only because of the injuries. So, You know, I have a feeling he'll be in a feud in this one. But when it comes to winning, I don't know. It's 50-50 for me. I think he could win or he could lose, but he's gonna go over big either way.
Oh, very good answer. Okay, Ricky and Dana. Well, you go first, Ricky.
All right. I know I paid homage to the Murder Queen by saying that she's my absolute favorite NXT, but that's not to take any credit away from the glorious Bobby Roode, whose work I also enjoy very much. I do have to say that I've been back and forth on how I've seen this match turn out. But I think that Adam has kind of convinced me that we're going to get a little bit of a surprise by having Tommy go over and win the belt. I think it's, like you would think that, okay, it's a bit early for him coming off injury to get the belt and all that. But like I said, Roderick Strong would be next in line if Tommy doesn't get it. And so if Tommy loses, I feel like that's it for him. There's no way he's getting the NXT title. And I feel like they got to reward the guy for being there for so long and, fighting back through injury after injury. I mean, shoot, we haven't even found out who the heck the guy was that attacked him in the parking lot. What was it, 2 years ago?
Oh, it was Owens. Remember, Owens said he did it.
Wait, Owens actually fessed up to that?
Yeah, he came out and said he did it.
Oh, man, I missed that. Oh,
yeah.
Well, then Tommy needs to get that revenge once he gets on the main roster. But I'll say for now that, Chicago is a really good spot to have the GTS come into play and crown a new champion. I could see that happening. And then, I could see Roode winning it back shortly after, and that would allow Tommy then to go up to the main roster, But I'll say Tommy wins it.
We'll see about that. That's a very interesting picks right there. How about you, Dana?
I originally was going to go with Bobby Roode for the simple fact that Hideo seems to be very injury prone, and I hope nothing happens in the ring tonight. I'm praying, not tonight, tomorrow. I'm praying that everything will work out smoothly. But however, I listened to Triple H. He did a media call today, and he spoke about Hideo, and the man's passion and love for Hideo just makes me seem that he is going to win. He needs that win, whether or not he has an injury later, because it just seems that he's has too many accidents, and we don't know when his accident may be the last accident, so you want to see him go out on top. Now, I think if you give the belt to him, one, it'll put a face to the company. He can go out there, and it'll help open up, the international markets, and I think that will work on that aspect. Also, he really needs this win, and I just see him being the much better wrestler. And Bobby Roode, he needs to go. It's time for him to just, float on up to the glorious stage of SmackDown. So I really want him to not win. I want him to go away, and we'll see him in greater pastures, probably feuding with Shinsuke. But still, I need him to go, and I need Hideo to win. He needs that win. He's been in NXT for so long, and he hasn't won anything, partially due because of the injuries, but also they need for him to accomplish something, for him even being here.
So I would say that you all made some very good points. I'm gonna have to think about a couple of these. I'm gonna have to think about that decision, later on tonight and see what happens tomorrow. I mean, it very well could be a situation where Tommy is screwed out of the victory, and then they will have him win when they have a rematch at the next TakeOver, which is probably going to be around SummerSlam time. But we'll see what happens. That's a very interesting decision, though. I still say more than likely it's going to be Roode, because I'm thinking that this is a small. This TakeOver is not really doesn't really feel like it's a big show, but they are going to definitely have something that will get people's attention. So that will definitely get people's attention if Tommy does win. So we'll see what happens. We'll see. So we're going to now jump to the final discussion, which is going to be about the SmackDown pay-per-view. Now, some of these matches, I don't think we really need to talk a lot about because we already know what the outcome is. Some of them is fairly obvious because, you know, I'm not going to say that some of the people are jobbing, but you already know which people they're trying to get over. So I'm just going to go over a couple quick ones that I know we're going to talk about briefly. So right off the bat, they announced Luke Harper versus Eric Rowan. I think that Luke Harper has had a bit of a transformation. You know, he's gotten in better shape. I guess he is a face now. I will say without a doubt, Luke Harper is going to beat Eric Rowan without question. But yeah, Adam, what do you think?
Yeah, they're pushing him hard. They're pushing him hard, and I still think, I mean, doesn't need to be a face. He should have been a heel. Stick as a heel. He looked crazy. Now they're cleaning him up with a, you know, man. I get it. He was too much of a bum before, but do something with him. But I mean, he can go with the crazy. It makes more sense. I mean, they really didn't explain. So what happened with the whole Wyatt family? What happened? I mean, where's his backstory of how did he get part of it, and why did he leave it? And you know, I mean, I don't know. It's like they're just trying to just switch him up and see what they can do with him. But I think he was perfectly fine as a heel.
Well, just to answer the question, we know what happened to the Wyatt family.
We know, I mean, that they broke up. I mean, that's pretty much it. It was all about Wyatt, and then they made it seem like he realized it.
Yeah.
You know, and snapped out of it. You know, but that's the thing. It's like, where's your backstory? How did you get part of it? I thought you were family. I mean, the way he made it seem like they were like cousins or some shit way back. He talked about.
You're right. But yeah, we definitely know what happened to the Wyatt family. It's WWE creative and Vince McMahon messed up the whole concept. That to me is what happened. You know, you have Bray Wyatt taking losses, losing big matches.
I think if they get the Wyatt back together, you bring up Sanity as their crew, you finally get everything straightened out with the Broken Hardys. Right?
Yeah,
they just signed Crazy Steve from Impact. So if anybody's not sure, just Google Crazy Steve and you'll see what I'm talking about. You know, they can have all these weird, freaky fractions in these groups, and it could be something special right there. You know, if they all put them in one spot. You know, the matches, the feuds, the craziness that could happen. So that would be great to see, but I don't know. I don't know if they would do it, but I think the Wyatts will get back together. I think eventually they just work better together.
definitely. Okay, Ricky, who do you say will win?
So I'll say Luke Harper's got this. He's going to win the match. But I will also say that if you haven't watched Talking Smack from this week, I recommend you watch it just for the Eric Rowan segment. I thought it was creepy as hell, and it really sold me as Eric Rowan as someone to pay attention to for the coming year. I'm not sure how far they'll go with him, but did a pretty good job of scaring me there a little bit. So, yeah, I still expect Harper to come out on top in this match.
Yes. Okay, how about you, Dana?
Another thing that I really don't know, I think that Harper may win for the simple fact that Bray Wyatt has just been completely not utilized properly, and he was placed in that horrible match with Randy Orton. So we have Michael P.S. Hayes to thank for that. So right now, to me, he's kind of much of a joke, which is very unfortunate because I loved his gimmick before. And they just kind of just trashed it. So I'm looking forward to Eric Rowan winning. I think he's better in the ring. I like what he's doing with his fitness. I need him to shine more. And this would be a really great opportunity. And plus, it'll help with the streak of Luke. I'm sorry. It'll help with probably the opportunity of bringing the Wyatts back together. Who knows? So who knows? I like Harper.
Sounds good. We'll see what happens. Should be entertaining, and I definitely need to see that SmackDown segment. I will see that after we're done recording here tonight. So next matchup, of course, we have Baron Corbin against Sami Zayn. I'm going to give my pick right off the bat, and I'm going to say it's Baron Corbin. Because I know that WWE has said multiple times that they want this to be a big year for Baron Corbin. They want to push him to the moon and beyond. And I figure, well, yeah, it has to start. It starts somewhere. I did hear a rumor before that he would be favored to win Money in the Bank. I don't necessarily think that is correct at all, because of the way that they have the whole world title situation set up right now. But someone like Sami Zayn, I feel like Vince doesn't really understand Sami Zayn. They have him constantly jobbing, yet the fans continue to love Sami Zayn. And I feel that what I think it's going to take is Sami Zayn is probably someone who, if they really want to get over that he is an underdog and he overcomes, he has to win something such as the Money in the Bank, such as the Royal Rumble. Now I don't know if he's going to actually win the Royal Rumble, because obviously Vince will have his preference on who he wants to win that. And if Roman Reigns is in that match like he was in all the other matches, well, Sami Zayn doesn't stand a chance. But I just think Sami Zayn, they're looking to have a big moment with him at some point. At least I hope. That's why I don't think he's going to win this. They seem to really want to push Corbin. So I think, without a doubt, that Corbin's going to win tomorrow night. I mean to say Sunday night. So, Adam, what do you think?
I have the same thing. I have Corbin winning this. Sami Zayn, I don't. It's sad. He needs a repackaging. That's another one. I mean, Taz had brought it up. Taz has his nationwide radio show, and he said they should make him the crazy crazy cabbie guy. He already has a cabbie hat and everything. Have him be like some crazy nuts old job type of guy. Like a Robert De Niro from that movie. But I don't know. It's not going to work. It's not going to work. The whole ska dancing and all that stuff. It's not going to work. So it just makes sense. Plus, Corbin's a big man. He's a big man. Vince likes the big guys.
He's big and strong.
Big and strong. Got a bunch of tattoos. That works. Bring him up. And that's it. And it's believable. So I could see him getting the push. And I mean, he's decent. He's not bad. I like his finisher. I like both of them that he has. I mean, he's decent in the ring. I enjoy his matches. So I think it's his time. But it's sad that Sami Zayn is going to be in that limbo. And he's put in a lot of work, but I'm telling you, it's a gimmick. The gimmick needs to go. Needs to go.
Yes, it definitely does need to go. How about you, Ricky?
So I'm gonna say Baron Corbin. I think that he needs to win a pay-per-view match. I think that Sami Zayn is being treated like a good hand, basically. That he can take a loss because the fans still really like him, and he puts on good matches and what have you. They really want to build up Corbin, and which they should. I think they need to invest in him. He's got a lot of promise, and I mean, just quite simply, I think this is Corbin's take in that match.
Yeah, we'll see. And Dana?
I see, unfortunately, Corbin winning, him and his hairline. I really think that Zayn is just booked poorly. He loses every 5 seconds, and his gimmick is just downright corny. Even as much as the fans love him, it's kind of a little corny. And I don't really see them doing anything, except for maybe at Money in the Bank he'll be in and he'll make some really great high-flying spots. But I really see Corbin winning, and just being more successful as he continues on, and they're really trying to build him up. So you have to start with Backlash?
Yeah, good points all around. Yes, it's a bad day to be a Sami Zayn fan. Yes. Okay. Next up, we have the welcoming committee. You know, we have Natalya, Carmella, and Tamina. Yes, and I don't know why this match is even on the card.
No.
But yes, you have them going up against Naomi, Charlotte Flair, and Becky Lynch. I think this one, listen, Charlotte, they've been making Charlotte look like a fool the last couple of weeks, ever since she came over to SmackDown. So I feel like, obviously, I expect the baby faces to win in this case. I don't really know if you, I don't really buy Charlotte as a baby face, even though they want to sell you on that. But yeah, Naomi, Charlotte, and Becky Lynch, they will win that. And then, of course, they'll go on to have a rematch. Charlotte and Naomi will for that title. But that's my pick. How about you, Adam?
I don't even care. This is a bathroom break match. This is pointless. This is pointless. I didn't understand this whole welcoming committee. It's like, when did you all become friends on this shit? Well, what is happening? You know what I mean? It's like, it's just not enough female wrestlers on this roster to create feuds like this. No. What's the end result after this? They should be all pissed off at each other because one team loses or something, and then you create something else. But besides that, I'm upset. No, this should have been separated. Everybody should have had their own thing. You can't bunch them up all like they're like a little group. It just, I hate it. Nope.
I agree. Okay, Ricky, I know you're looking forward to this match. So who do you think is going to win?
Oh God. I have zero interest in this one, which is a shame because it's pretty much the whole women's division in one match. The whole SmackDown women's division in one match, and you know that it's a solid division. I just think that this tag match is just kind of whatever. You've got the baby faces versus the heels, and the baby faces are all way better than the heels in this in this match. And I'm gonna say, Naomi, Flair, and Charlotte and Becky Lynch. I'm just gonna say they win. I don't care how, but they'll win, and that's it.
Yes. Okay, Dana, how about you? Are you glad that Tamina finally is going to be in a match?
Oh God, not like this. No. This is, oh God. You know who's gonna win? And I'm dead serious. James Ellsworth, because he's the only person who is keeping me interested in this entire thing. I don't give a flying fart who wins. I think that Naomi and Charlotte should have had a match on their own, and it would have been great, and I would have been interested. This feels like a total Divas setup. This is all what it is that it's for the show. I don't care about it. I am bored even thinking about it. But yeah, that's what's gonna happen. James Ellsworth, he's gonna somehow get involved. He's gonna win. Yay for him.
Yeah, simple as that. We don't really care much about that match, so yeah. We'll see what happens. Okay, on to another match that I don't know if you guys care or care about or not. We have the Usos defending their titles against Breezango. I know that these guys are considered the faces now. Tyler Breeze and Fandango. But I just say I think Usos without a doubt. This is another match where I don't really think they've really built up anything yet, because these guys just became the number one contenders recently. So I don't really think much about this match. I again question why it's on the card, but I would say Usos. Yeah, Usos win. How about you, Adam?
Yeah, Usos. I'm tired of all these cheesy, free dangle. Oh my God! I mean, both of those gimmicks were silly to begin with, and it's just for humor. I mean, they were never meant to be taken serious, so why should they win serious matches? It just doesn't make sense. If anything, they need to go back to NXT. Hell, send them to the UK. Put them in that one. That'll be fun. They like to do the whole dancing and all that stuff. Remember? So he'll get over there. So no, not happening.
Yeah. Okay. Ricky, how about you?
Usos. Next.
Yes, Dana.
Uh,
Hey.
okay. Yeah, I'm gonna go with the Usos. I really don't care that much about this match. The Usos really hasn't done anything, but been on the mic and made some cute little rhymes. And as far as Brizango, whatever, I just see him as a really corny, watered down version of Edge and Christian that somehow Vince probably got involved with. But I am not really looking forward to this, or nor do I really care. I would have preferred to have Heath Slater and Rhino in it somehow. But, that's the cards that we're dealt with, and I just don't care about it.
I agree 100%. I don't care about this match either. But it is what it is. This is why I said before, SmackDown doesn't really feel like it used to be like it's good anymore, but
Right.
it is what it is.
And also, I just want to say, why do they not have a finishing maneuver yet? What? How are you going into a pay-per-view and you haven't even established that? How does that work in your mind? Everything is just all over the place and thrown together. No, I don't like this. Mm-mm.
Nope.
Yes, good points. We'll see. Okay, so now we're going to get to the 3 matches that matter most. One really doesn't matter because I think the outcome is pretty much expected. So, but we have to mention it, obviously, the big match, Shinsuke Nakamura versus Dolph Ziggler. Simple and straight to the point. Nakamura is going to knock off Dolph Ziggler's head. Nakamura is advertised for the pay-per-view. I saw the advertisement as soon as the conclusion of the last pay-per-view Payback. Shinsuke Nakamura, everybody's talking about it. So yes, Nakamura, without a doubt. I don't like, just to go back to what you guys were saying earlier, I don't like the way they have presented him thus far when they tried to have that whole promo with Dolph Ziggler the first time he actually came out onto the actual stage. I don't like any of that stuff, and then they made the reference, Dolph Ziggler talking about Michael Jackson. That was horrible.
Yep.
With that said, the most recent one, I guess it has gotten better. I don't know, but I just say, listen, hurry up and get this match over with so that you can move Nakamura to better opponents like a AJ Styles or even Kevin Owens. I want to see that. But yeah, Shinsuke is going to win. So Adam.
Shinsuke's going to win. I mean, he's been beating Dolph for close to a month now at all the house shows. So, I mean, it makes no sense. Like I said before, I mean, when you introduce somebody on a big stage like this, they never lose, especially in WWE. They never lose. No way you're going to be making all these promo videos, all stuff, and then he comes in and then he gets caught with the zigzag and it's over. Not happening. Would be amazing if it did, but it's not happening. So that's why this is like a giveaway. Why even bother putting this? I mean, they should have had matches way before. And this could have been like, the deciding factor of the feud. But no, this is going to be the beginning, and he's going to get his ass whooped. And I get it. We're supposed to see him in action, so this is going to be, I predict it's going to be a pretty long match. And Dolph, he's going to do what he does best and take some amazing bumps. But, I mean, this is not what we want. I mean, for people that have been watching, Shinsuke grow through the NXT division there, we already know what he can do, and now we're seeing him start at the bottom of the barrel here. It's sad to say with Dolph, but it doesn't make sense, in so many ways, because I get what they were saying. It's like, oh well, a lot of people don't watch this brand, and it's your product. I mean, NXT is yours, so you can't make it seem like he's coming from the outside, completely. I mean, he should have just been thrown into the top slot like the way they did with AJ. AJ just went straight to the top. That was it. Like, you went to the Rumble and poof, now you're playing with the big boys. He never battled around and worked his way up. You know what I mean? And then if they really want to get Shinsuke over, he should walk through Dolph and then just start rumbling with the guys at the top of the roster on SmackDown. None of this bullshit of like going back and forth with Dolph and doing a feud and then maybe having some other, lower to mid Carter guys. You want him as your top guy? You want him up there? You got to throw him up there instantly. So that's my thing with it. But we'll see. But yeah, he's definitely gonna win. Yeah, don't even put money on that. He's gonna win.
Yes, I agree. Okay, Ricky.
Yeah, the King of Strong Style is winning this match. I have no doubt about it. I want to go back to a month and a half ago when I was at the SmackDown following WrestleMania, and Shinsuke made his SmackDown television debut. As you'll recall, the person in the ring at the time was not Dolph Ziggler, it was The Miz. And I feel like that was a missed opportunity to have The Miz be his first feud, because they would have had, I feel like they could have had excellent chemistry together. Miz could have really carried the talking with the whole Miz TV and all that. Instead, you get Dolph Ziggler with his usual shtick of, whining about, people aren't respecting me enough and all that other stuff. I don't know, man. And I'll say that I saw the dark match that night, which was Shinsuke Nakamura versus Dolph Ziggler. It was a 10-minute match. It was kind of going through the motions. Nothing really special, quite honestly. And I expect that the quality of this match for Backlash will be a lot better. It'll be a longer match. I feel like both guys will get their offense in. But at the end of the day, you're gonna put your faith in the man you've invested the money in. That's Shinsuke Nakamura. I see no way that he doesn't come out on top this Sunday. He's the cover guy for the pay-per-view. So yeah, they definitely got to make him look good and have a good win. I just wonder what's going to happen afterwards, whether the feud with Ziggler will keep going or not. Well, we'll see.
Yeah, that's a good point. Okay, Dana, how about you?
They know. I sing a song for you.
Oh yeah, we can't hear you.
We got two Danas, but neither are talking. Let's see.
Maybe Shinsuke, maybe he hit her or something.
Oh man,
He's very, very. That kick is very brutal.
Doing the good vibrations on the internet connection or something.
I mean, we'll come back to you. Don't worry. I mean, I already know what your answer is going to be. It has to be, without a doubt, it has to be Shinsuke. But yeah, let's get to the next match, which is, and I'm yeah, I hear you now.
Yeah.
Yay! Sorry, I had to. It's bad technology where I'm at. Okay, as you already know, I love Shinsuke, so he obviously is going to win. And go back with Ziggler. Remember when The Rock and Cena faced each other again for the second time, and they did that horrible segment where The Rock was reading off his lines on his hand?
Yes.
Yeah.
Kind of what it reminds me of when they did that whole Michael Jackson thing that Ziggler said. The build up to this match has been so boring and so lame on the side of Ziggler that you just know that he's going to lose. And so I feel that obviously Shinsuke is going to win. He needs to win. He is, someone who is a much bigger talent, in my opinion. I just love him, so I think he's better than anyone. And this more than Ziggler does, and Ziggler is a wonderful company man. So he will very easily take that fall for him. And he's already been looking like a clown for the past month anyway.
Yeah, you're right. No, hey. Very good thoughts. So let's move on to the next match. This is a match that I don't really know. Now, I'm glad, I like the people competing in the match, but I do not like the title that they are competing for. Kevin Owens defending the U.S. title against AJ Styles. Now, AJ Styles lost against Jinder Mahal this past week on SmackDown. due to interference, obviously, and Kevin Owens was involved in that also. So part of me does not want AJ to win this match because AJ deserves a better title than the U.S. title. I mean, obviously, if you talk to AJ Styles and he says, well, he will value the U.S. title just like it's any other title, and he'll still want it. But even he has to know, obviously, the world title is where you should be competing for. With that said, I do think that AJ will get the win. I think it is going to be a DQ finish. I don't think it's going to be a situation where they're just going to give him that title, unless, of course, they want to do that. But I think he is going to win. But I think Kevin Owens is going to try to make it difficult for it to be a clean win, and then in that case, it'll be a DQ finish. But that's my opinion. But yes, Adam, any thoughts?
Man, I just don't see it. I just don't see it. I mean, this whole no, Ricardo, you go with this. I just don't.
I'm gonna echo Richard's sentiments about the DQ finish. I think they'll want to have AJ win. I don't think they want to give him the U.S. title. It's kind of beneath them at this point. You could argue that the U.S. title is beneath Owens as well, but I want to see. He fans and all that stuff. I think it's too soon to take that away from him. Yeah. So I'm gonna steal Rich's idea. AJ by DQ.
It just, I think it doesn't even matter at this point. I think it's a smack in the face to both guys. Here it is. There was a structure before. You had top guys, you had middle guys, and then you had guys at the bottom working their way up. And you're taking top guys and you're dropping them down, and then you're just leaving two guys up top. And you have one guy who just skipped the line in Mahal. And I just don't get it. They should all be involved in that. Why is it just like Randy and now Mahal? I don't get that. You know what I mean? It's like, and you have everyone competing for this U.S. title. No one gives a shit about the title. It's not that the wrestlers care. People don't care. What does the U.S. title even mean? You know what I mean? It's like, are you the best in America? Is that what that's supposed to be? Because, I don't change it up. I don't know. Give it a better name, but it just doesn't make sense. And I think a lot of people don't care. The only person that brought any real attention recently to it, and they could say, oh, yeah, this guy held it, whatever. No. Was when John Cena was doing the call-outs. Remember? The open challenge. Open challenge. Anybody wanting, just come and get it. And then we saw all kinds of crazy matches. You know what I mean? But besides that, no one really cares. You know what I mean? No one cares. So it doesn't matter if he has this belt. Why don't they just bring back the hardcore title? And then we'll run around with that. But I think no one cares, so it really doesn't matter. It'll be a good match because of the two participants, but when it comes to the title, I don't care who wins it. You know what I mean? Like you said, it's beneath them both. They both shouldn't be fighting for this damn title. They should be fighting for like a number one contendership for the real title, but not for this shit.
Yeah.
This should have been Baron Corbin, and Sami Zayn's match, with this damn belt. So I don't care.
It's a mid card title.
Yeah.
The Intercontinental belt, at least back in the day, that's what it was meant for. It was the mid card belt. It's pay attention to the guy that has this belt because he might be the next main event star kind of thing. It's kind of the workers' championship, and now it's just the belt that's not the world belt basically. So it could go to whoever. It could go from anyone to Kalisto, all the way up to Kevin Owens, and I would say those two are not on par with each other at all. So they have no idea what they're doing with these mid card belts. To be quite honest,
if somebody think about it, if somebody from let's say Ring of Honor, or Japan, or one of those was like, all right, well, what's going on over there now, right? It's like, well, Kevin Owens went over there. Yeah, he won the belt, right? Yeah, and he did, and then he got bumped down. like, all right, what do you mean bump down? What's going on? Well, he's got this U.S. belt, and he's doing these other matches lower on the card. Why? Like, what did he do? Oh, nothing. It's just the way it works. Okay. What about AJ? Oh, AJ won a belt, and he was like, okay, that's cool. So what's going on now? He's involved in. No. They bumped him down too, and he's down competing with that. Kevin Owens down there. Why the fuck am I? Should I go there? You know what I mean? Why should anybody go there if this is what they do? They just put you at the top and then they drop you down. You know who used to do that? TNA used to do that. TNA used to give, but they were worse. They would actually give you the belt. I remember Christian showing up, he got the belt. Booker T showed up, he got the belt. That was like the whole gimmick of it. Sign with us. We don't have too much money. We had a decent amount of money, but damn, we're going to make you champ quick. And they gave everybody the belt. And then once that wore off, that newness, then they took the belt off, and then they gave it on to the next new guy who showed up. Every time another former WWE guy showed up, you knew he was going to be champ. And it just ruined it. But now it's like I feel like we're seeing some of that. These big name guys, they show up, we're excited, they put in the main top roster tier, and we're like, yeah, this is great. And then they just start sliding down. The only person that sort of was deserving of all that was Dean because of the damn Steve Austin interview. Besides that, though, I mean, everybody else has been on point. Kevin Owens has been on point. AJ has been doing his thing, carrying people in matches. And this is what they get as a reward. Is it about the money? Is it one of those things where it's almost like they're being pimped? Like, oh, look, we got all this money here for you. Everything's going to be great. Come on, come with me. And then they show up and they get used to that money, and then they start cutting that money, and they start giving them furs and stuff. Like, oh, yeah, look, you look good. There you go. And I think that's it. And they get comfortable. And they're like, all right, now we don't have to worry about them trying to leave. They're comfortable. They're getting the royalties. They're getting that check. So who gives a shit if they're at the bottom card or in the mid card or they're not competing for the big title anymore? And it's sad. It's sad because they should have at least 5 or 6 guys constantly competing for that belt, not just 1 or 2. Like we're seeing it with Raw, but we all know the outcome. Brock isn't going to lose that belt, so then it really doesn't make it competitive. I mean, it would be competitive if we knew anybody could win it. If we knew the opportunity was for anybody, any one of those dudes can go and take that belt. But the way they have the Brock booked, it's not happening. He's a mythical creature. It's just not going to happen unless he just doesn't take you serious. Like that was a gimmick with Goldberg. They're like, oh, Goldberg beat him. He's like, yeah, but he pushed it as that he didn't care, that he didn't think that it was going to be a serious challenge. Remember when he was in the ring, he hit him and he turned around and he was like, oh, la, 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 and then he got speared. So he got caught off guard, and that's how he lost. So, but they're not going to do that again. So who can legit beat the crap out of him? Because that's the only way they're going to take that belt. Who? Nobody. The only person that's big, because of course is Vince, he's not going to go with a smaller guy to do it. The big guy is Roman Reigns or Braun Strowman. And I could see Braun easily leapfrogging because the fans like him and stuff, but that's not really what Vince likes. Vince likes he's big in him, but he's invested too much time and money in Roman. So he's going to keep pushing and force Roman down everybody's throats like he did with Cena. And that's it. That's just what we have to deal with. And then
I hate it.
Yeah, and hate it. And it's like, all right, so then what happens when Roman does win the belt? Then what? Are you going to pull the same shit where nobody can beat him, only other big guys? Because right now, that's what it looks like. It looks like all the big guys are the only ones up there that are really competing. Maybe Joe. I think Joe can compete on that level, but I think it's too soon right now for him. But if they stick with that, then yeah, I would have a sourpuss face like Finn Balor all the time. Because I'm sure that's what's going on. He's in the back, he's hearing all this shit, and then he's coming out and he's like, damn, so I'm shooting these promos and everything knowing that I'm not winning the lotto anytime soon. So you tell me, because I got hurt, and I think it's a combination of things. He got hurt, he got bumped down. Seth got hurt and then got hurt again and just hasn't been the same, and he got bumped down. So it's like, well, the bigger dudes usually last longer, but now look, we're seeing the big dudes get hurt. You know what I mean? It's just like, I think the combination of those guys getting hurt when they did ruined that whole flow of things. And then Vince just was like, you know what? Let's just go back with the big guys. We're just going back with the big guys, you know, and that's what we're stuck with. Back to the big men.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, which is why I think that other big dude from Sanity. I think if Sanity don't come up as a group, that big dude's gonna come up by himself. Remember,
Yeah.
they put him in that Royal Rumble, that Andre Giant Battle Royal for a reason.
That's true.
I mean,
Killian
like,
Dane or something like that.
yeah, I was like, yo, the guy's only been there like 3 weeks or something, and now you're putting him in WrestleMania. You know, why would you do that? Oh, I know why. Because the guy is big. That's why. You know, so it's the same thing. It's just big. You know, and look at the. You know, we were just talking about Corbin. You know, Corbin. I mean, he's deserving. He's put in time. You know, but again, he's going to start jumping up that ladder above all the other shorter guys and little guys because of just his physique. It's good. It's just the way it is. You know, people want to, at least in Vince's eyes, he thinks that's what they want to see, and he wants to see all the smaller guys compete for the other belts. You know, that's why he created 205. You know, that's the sad part with 205. Also, it's like we see all these little guys. Great, they have a belt to go for, but then what?
Yeah.
It's not like the U.S. title. It's not like the Intercontinental title. It's not a stepping stone to anywhere. That's the title, and that's it. You're not moving up, buddy. You're 205. That's your weight. You are little. We're putting that in the title. You are little, man. Little people stay in little spaces. You're not going up to the top. None of those dudes are going to go up and compete against Brock or anybody. We know this.
Yeah.
They know this. You know, and that's why it's sort of in a tight spot. Because they have it with that. People are like, oh, well, it's like a Ring of Honor or something. No. Ring of Honor, anything goes. You know, there's different weight. They're not saying just 205. They could have said cruiserweight. They could have created something else around it. But when you start saying 205 and cruiserweight, you're saying little people division. You know, and so that's it. If you're little and you make it to WWE, know that pretty much your whole career is going to be in this fucking division. You're not going to go anywhere else unless you put a mask on and you say you're related to Rey Mysterio. You know, because you're not making it.
Yeah.
Or you're going to job to one of the big dudes. You know, and that's it. It's sad. The whole thing is sad.
Hey, listen, they got to make sure that they keep Roman looking strong. So that's the
Exactly.
priority. It's always going to be the priority.
Oh, well, speaking real quick, just not to get too sidetracked, but I'm sure you heard about it. Everybody heard about it. That promotion out in the UK offering CM Punk $1 million to compete in the tournament back in wrestling.
I did hear about this.
Yes.
Yeah.
Supposedly it's legit. They actually offered that money, and they contacted his manager or whatever. And you know, I don't know if they've heard. He said no.
Well, I mean, I think he. Well, I think he did say his wrestling days are over, so he probably did say no to it. But I don't know.
Man, $1 million, man, $1 million. I mean, I could have seen him not wanting to go to WWE, but I'm assuming that if they're paying $1 million and it's some big tournament, they want him multiple matches, and they're gonna let him win. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I mean, he shouldn't really. If he wants to hate and be like, "Oh, I don't want to," people aren't going to take me serious. I'm like, well, you didn't really have much of a serious MMA career to begin with. You know what I mean? So, yeah, it's like you're not Brock. You know what I mean? You're not somebody who went in there, kicked a bunch of ass, won a title, and then leave and went to WWE. You still get respect for that.
Yeah.
You know, for what you did before. But come on now, you lost to a guy who just started and only had like a handful of matches before you. You know, don't.
That's all right. Well, we'll see about that.
I say take it. It's $1 million. Come on now, because if not, if you're an old man and you do burn that money or some bad investments, or AJ leaves you and takes everything, you'll be like, damn, I could have had an easy mill back when I was younger, but I passed on it. So that way I can get submitted by some nobody that, you know, in some federation that's not the UFC, because they don't want him back for this.
Yeah. Well, we'll see. Dana, real quick. Who do you think is going to win between Kevin Owens and AJ Styles?
The Canadian.
All right, hey.
It's not gonna be a clean win. It's gonna be something dirty, and he'll win and go on and say a speech, and I'll continue to be angry because it's not for the belt that actually matters.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, we'll see. So, final match. Randy Orton defending the title against Jinder Mahal. Listen, I don't know what they're gonna do with this match. I feel like Randy Orton is not really an interesting champion. He's gotten a little bit boring now, a little stale. And since we can't have AJ Styles and Randy Orton for some reason, I have no idea what they're going to do. If they gave it to Jinder Mahal, well, whatever. I mean, I don't really care because, again, as I said earlier, I don't really think that they've really handled this particular transition well for him. Because, the way that they did it, had him just win the number one contenders match, lost every match beforehand. Yet, I find it very funny how on Raw, very recently, Kurt Angle, you had Goldust and R-Truth talking to Kurt Angle about we want a title opportunity. He says, no, wins and losses matter. So that's why I say it doesn't make any kind of sense. There's no consistency whatsoever in the logic of the company and how they handle stuff. So I say, well, hey, if you want to give it to Jinder Mahal, fine. But we already know it is because of the India deal. This has nothing to do with, Jinder Mahal, probably a great guy. He got in great shape, whether it's fake or not, in terms of how he got there, whether you could question the methods of that. But no doubt about it, this is for the India deal. And nothing more, nothing more, nothing less. But I would say I still feel like Randy Orton is going to win, because I really don't know if they have the balls to really take it as far as to give Jinder Mahal the belt. But we'll see. So, Adam, your thoughts?
Jinder's going to win. Those guys, the Bollywood boys, whatever they're being called now, they're going to interfere. Some shit's going to happen. He's not going to win clean, but he's going to win. They're going to have him the belt. If not, I just need to look at their schedule and see the next time they go to India. So that way he wins before he goes, because that's it. I mean, it's all about business. People are like, oh, this is bullshit. This is the way it's always been with the Iron Sheik when he did it, when they needed, Hulk Hogan and represent his people, when they needed Yokozuna to represent, this is just how it works, So Khali was their man. People don't understand how great Khali, he made a big deal. There's a reason why he stood there so long. People are like, but he's not that good. Doesn't matter. He represented a lot for people, especially when they went over to India. He brought in big money. He went out there and he did interviews and stuff. People flocked to him. Then he retired. He's done. They don't have anybody to fill that spot. They need someone to fill that spot. And then so this guy said, I'll do it. I'll juice. I'll get strong, and I'll be that guy. And they're like, okay. And look, he looks the part. He's the guy, and he's decent on the mic. He's not that great of a wrestler, but who cares? It's like, this is it. He's going to be one of those heels. I mean, Ric Flair, I always say, he's never been that good of a wrestler. He just knows how to take a good back body drop, and that's it. Think about it. It's like he knows how to take some bumps, and he was great on the mic, so people love him. I love him. Figure 4, okay, whatever. But it was mainly when he got on the mic and he sold that fight, sold the match. So I think Jinder's going to win this. If he doesn't, then they're going to lead up to something else happening, but he will eventually become champ. He will.
So I'll say this real quick, and then I'll let you go, Ricky and Dana. I'll just say this, that if Jinder Mahal does win, I'm fine with that, but WWE needs to do this. The next pay-per-view for SmackDown is Money in the Bank. So whoever wins that Money in the Bank, I want to see them cash in that title that same night. Get that belt off of Jinder Mahal. That would be my request.
Nope. I mean, think about it. It's simple. All we have to do is just look up the calendar. When is the next time they're doing a tour overseas? I
think it's the summertime.
The summertime, which is coming up.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. They do their summer tours. There you go. He's somewhere between then and that tour, he will become champ. And I'm telling you, it's going to be a big deal because when he gets off the plane and he's doing the promo tour, and he's walking around in that nice fancy suit with that belt on his shoulder, I'm telling you, it's going to be on front page newspapers there. It's going to be relevant in the news. All those outlets will want to interview him because he's a native and he can speak their native tongue. It will fly over. It will work. That was a whole thing. Giving Shinsuke the belt and having him when he went overseas to do the whole Samoa Joe feud and all that stuff. Remember that? Same thing. So
You're right. Yeah. Hey,
it's
well,
all about money. It's all business, and like Triple H used to say, it's what's best for business.
yes, that is what's best for business.
Yeah.
Not best for my interests as
No,
a fan.
exactly. No, not
Definitely
best for your
best for,
interests. It's not
yeah.
about what you care about. It's what they care about.
Yes. So Ricky.
Give me a second to think about this. I'll
right.
defer for a second. I'll get back to you on this.
Okay, Dana. Who do you think is going to win?
Steroids.
Yeah, there you
I
go.
see him solely for that wonderful Indian appeal. They're gonna go over there and it was already said, he's gonna go into over there and it's gonna be great for marketing and great for the press, and he's gonna drop the belt once they're done over there. I really don't have any interest in this solely because I don't care about gender. He's not great on the mic. He can't wrestle that well. I understand they may love him because of that appeal, but for me, it's stale, it's boring, but he'll win. All because of money and marketing. So once again, the fans get screwed over, the fans that really care.
Yes, agree. Well, we'll see. So, Ricky, you have your thoughts now.
I have some thoughts. Yes, on the Maharaja, or whatever he calls himself. I thought it was funny that I went back into a conversation I had with a couple of friends of mine on Facebook a month ago, before this whole thing started, this whole push. I gave them a list of 38 wrestlers currently on the roster who I said will never, 100% will never touch the WWE title. One of the names on that list is Jinder Mahal. Now, that was before he won the #1 contenders match, which I was shocked that he was even a part of. That was like a contenders match for the European Championship. Remember the European title from before? That's the kind of quality of contenders was on that match. It was for the WWE Championship. Jinder wins it, and I start questioning why. Is it because of the steroids? Is it because of the physique and all this stuff? And Vince McMahon being all enamored with that? Is it because of the Indian, interest and everything like that? And I don't know, man. Like I even went through the list of the past WWE champions of all time. He would have to be the worst on that list, or somewhere near the bottom from a talent perspective. It would be so random. It would be so random, and it just seems it just seems like, I don't know, the timing doesn't seem right on it, but I don't know, man. Like, I think even Vince is kind of wondering whether to pull the trigger or not. I don't think he's even sure about this. But I will say this, Randy Orton as a champion is just so boring. I'm sorry, like, he's just so boring. This match feels like it should be for a mid-card belt, not for a WWE belt. So I'll say, I'm not even sure I believe this, but I'm just going to say Jinder Mahal wins it. Just because I just want something interesting. I would feel bad for some of the other people on the roster who are more deserving of this opportunity, in my opinion. But I'm very curious to see if this could be kind of a thing with Jinder being like a late bloomer. Really see if he could become a star out of this. I don't know. It feels weird. I just don't know. But yeah, let's just say for the hell of it, let's say Jinder Mahal wins it, and just to keep things interesting. So that's my prediction. Jinder Mahal, new WWE champion. Sure, what the heck.
Okay. All right. Well, we will know exactly how things play out within the next 48 hours. So we'll see. But I think we had a great discussion. Great predictions overall. So I wanted to ask if you guys had any final things you would like to say before we wrap up tonight's show. You can go first, Adam.
Let's see. What else could I possibly say? I mean, there's other options out there. If you guys are upset when you're watching this, what you can do when you're watching one of these TakeOver or the other WWE, just pause it and flip over to Netflix and then just type in Lucha Underground and get some popcorn and just sit back and just be entertained. Because that's pretty much the most entertaining wrestling or entertainment that you'll be able to find right now, without all this bullshit drama and stuff. It's fun to watch. But besides that, that's the only thing. I mean, or go on to WWE Network and start watching some old ECW matches and stuff with the real wrestling stuff, like Jerry Lynn and Rob Van Dam and stuff. There's plenty of good matches out there. And then just keep watching those matches over and over and over until things get better, on the live show. Once they get better, then you could jump back in. And it's sad, but man, it's really sad. I'm just upset. If somebody would have told me a few months back that this is what would be happening now, I wouldn't believe them, because I'm like, you got NXT, all these great stars that were there coming up. Now it's sort of fallen off, but I mean, I didn't see that happening. You had SmackDown, then the brand split, and they had some great stories. I enjoyed watching SmackDown every week. I'm like, wow, this is fun to watch again. And now, don't give two shits. Raw is still what Raw is. So whatever. There's only so much I can expect from that. And then that's it. Just hope for the best. I mean, the rumors of WWE still going after all the other federations are still out there, but from what they're saying now, it's not so much to take them over, it's just for their catalog. They want those catalogs. So if they get that, then that's even more great matches that we'll get to see. But for now, what we could watch is great matches on the network from other guys, and then, of course, Lucha Underground. And that's it. And now, I'm telling you, honestly, I'm not looking forward to hearing any more big names signing to WWE, because I'm not too happy with what they're doing with the big names they did sign. Jay Lethal's contract's going up soon, and I don't want him to go. WWE and Briscoe Brothers, I think they may give him some stupid gimmick when they show up and go with the chicken farmers, and it's just embarrassing. Yeah, I'm telling you, I'm sure they'll make him. I just have no faith that they're going to do them justice. And that's it. And then the big one is Adam Cole. Everyone's like, oh, Adam Cole, is he going to show up? I hope not. They'll just ruin him too. It's sad. I see Rich smiling out there, but he knows it's true, because we're seeing it. We're seeing it firsthand. We're seeing these guys. We just talked about where all these big guys are, the great guys that showed up competing. They're competing for bullshit titles. You know what I mean? It's like they're not even in the big conversations, the major title conversation. Why did they even bother? They're paying these guys a lot of money. Some of them, they gave really big checks. And Balor getting big checks. AJ, they paid a lot of money. He even said it. He said they came to him. He was perfectly fine doing what he was doing in Japan. They came to him. They bring in this big money. And then this is what you're doing with them? So I guess you really are the big boys. You just burning money. It's like, yeah, we're not going to put them at the top. But that's it. I mean, and I can't blame the writers. I'm tired of people saying, oh, creative. No, it's Vince. Not creative. It's Vince.
Yes.
And that's it. We could just hope that NXT still gets, and I think it's not bad. NXT's not bad. It's just that a lot of their guys came up, and then you still got a lot of other guys coming in, and it's just like an awkward transition. You know what I mean? It wasn't too much of handing the baton. It was like, all right, now it's your turn. It's more like, all right, now just introduce some new guys and enjoy them. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. But yeah, that's it. Enjoy. Have fun. A lot of wrestling out there. Plenty to watch. Don't bitch.
Yes. Absolutely. Okay, Ricky. Any final words? Final thoughts?
Sure. I have final words on 2 Bullet Club members, 1 current, 1 former. Current one, was thinking about how think about how disappointed I was when Kenny Omega didn't win the IWGP Championship earlier this year, and then I believe he was like a free agent and was mulling over a decision to go to WWE. And I remember being very conflicted about what I wanted him to do, because it was a part of me that really wanted to see him in WWE, and it was a part of me that really didn't want to see that happen because I feel like he would get lost in the shuffle.
Yep.
That he's a guy who deserves to have his own platform to shine, and I feel like that's what he has in Japan right now. He just would not have that in WWE. It just wouldn't do him justice, and I'm not sure when that will come. So I'm very entertained by him, and I really wish that there'd be a way to fit him into WWE in a way that he deserves, but I don't know when that's going to happen. We'll have to wait and see.
But like the old Bucks, I don't know when they're gonna show up. They're not young. They're fooling no one, and it's not happening.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I mean, what they're doing is working for them, and I just don't see them showing up, and I don't think they need to.
Yeah. So that's current Bullet Club member. The other thing I have to talk about is a former Bullet Club member. That would be Finn Balor. I have three things actually about Balor that I was going to mention. One is the Finn Balor 24 that's on WWE Network. Definitely recommend everyone go watch it. It's an hour about his rehab from his shoulder injury, getting back into shape and everything like that. Definitely worth a watch. Very interesting to see about his life and all that. Second thing, talking about shape. I'm not in great shape. I've been probably because of a new job I've had. I've been eating way too much, and I wish Finn Balor would hurry up and release his workout routine so I could get abs like him. You know, I think everyone dreams about looking that great, but yeah.
I need that tape also. Yes.
Yeah, the Finn Balor ab workout.
I need the gender special bag that he walks around with the juice, you know.
Yeah, just inject it into my
That's it. I need that quick fix.
And the last point about Balor is he had a recent tweet about and he just said, I think it was like Imagine, and it was a picture of him posing with Anderson and Gallows, and it's just like, damn man, I wish you would stop teasing us like that, because let me tell you, a Bullet Club versus Shield feud would be lit as hell. I would love it. I just don't know if that's gonna come Survivor Series of this year or SummerSlam of next year, but it's gotta happen at some point. So I'm just wondering, you know.
If you would think it would be able to happen, but with the way they want to push Roman in a different direction, it's not gonna happen.
Yeah, so that's it for me.
Okay, and how about you, Dana? Any final words?
No final words.
Let's go to sleep.
No final words. I just want to say one last thing before we wrap up the show. I also would like to give a shout out to Finn Balor. I know that there's been some news circulating that he is currently dating one of the announcers over on the main roster. She used to be on NXT. I believe her name is Kathy Kelly. I'm not really sure about the name. But I want to give a shout out to Finn Balor because this is a guy who is the same age as me, but still plays with Lego toys. So I'm glad that he now has a new toy that he is able to play with, and you know he's actually growing up. So yeah, that's good. I'm glad to see that. I just wanted to say that. But yeah, thank you all for listening to this week's show, and we will talk to you all next week.
Yep.
All right, peace out.
Peace out.
Later. Don't drink and drive.